Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, Mr. Jimmy. My name is Krisnayanto. Now I want to finish my thoughts about risking it. And this is a question number one is explain three factors or circumstances that change the perceived risk. The first factor it is control. Whether the risk is an activity we control, as opposite to one we do not control. In circumstances where we have more control, we feel there is less risk. And the second factor is whether the risk is natural versus unnatural. When a risk is unnatural, we feel that less risk. And the third factor is how common the activity is. That is whether the risk is part of an everyday activity. In contrast to unusual event, when the risk is on everyday activity, we feel that there is less risk. And the question number two is why do people think that being out in the sun is less risky than being near nuclear power plants? So we can compare being near a nuclear power plants are unnatural. That is, they are created by people, so we feel that they have a significant risk. The sun is unnatural, so we feel that it is a low risk. However, many more get cancer each year from the sun than from nuclear power. So being in the sun has a higher actual risk, but we feel that being in the sun is less risky because it is natural. The question number three is explain the difference between perceived risk and actual risk and given an example. So this is perceived risk. Is the way a person think about risk. Perceived risk is how risky or unsafe a person thinks an activity is. The actual risk it is which is the true risk, the risk of something if you actually look at how many people are hurt or injured by an activity. So giving my example is let's compare two ways to travel. This flying versus driving a car. Many people drive a car each day, but they don't worry about risk very much. They know that there is a risk of an accident, but most people will not say they are afraid of driving. They feel that the risk is low, so the perceived risk of driving is low. On the other hand, many people worry about flying. They are afraid the aeroplane will have an accident and crash. They feel the risk of flying is higher than the risk of driving, and the perceived risk of flying is high. However, in these two examples, the actual risk is very different than the perceived risk. The actual risk of driving a car is high. Many more people are actually hurt or injured in car accident than an aeroplane accident. The actual risk of flying is low. In fact, the flying is 40 times safer than driving a car, but our perception is that flying is more dangerous. So this is question number four is what is control and uncontrolled risk, and given an example, this is a control. Whether the risk is an activity we control. The activity we control in circumstances where we have a more control, we feel there is a less risk. For example, let's look again at driving a car versus flying in an aeroplane. When we drive, we control the car. We decided where to drive and how fast to go. Therefore, we feel that driving is less risky, and the uncontrolled in circumstances Where we do not have more control, we feel there is high risk. For example, when we fly in airplane, we do not control it. Someone else is flying, so we feel it's more risky. And the last question it is mm, make a list 5 activities with different level of risk that you found around you. Number the activities from 1 less risky to 5 and most risky. Give your point of view why some activities have a higher perceived risk or higher actual risk. So the fact I do not understand about question of this, I can answer. Hmm. This is the first low risk is number one is rock and tumble. Many educators do not see it is value, not nor understand that it is an intrinsic part of of the way in which children learn. Like apply fighting, this is another controversial one, and that is often stamped out in some educational establishments. Supporters of risky play would say that play fighting is an inherent human instinct. It helps children learn many things. They begin to understand their own strength and also the strength of others. It helps them work out social boundaries and how relationship with other works. And the second risk it is about element. This many element is like water or fire, but I want to explain about a fire. This is another one that gets the adult adrenaline going. Like a fire. A fire circle is quite simply an area that will at some point have a live fire and usually has some kind of seating at safe distance around it. So you you be careful you play a fire. The third fact, the third risk is dangerous tools. This is often the element of risky play gets the adult's heart rate beating the fastest. Like if people use hammers, you can try hitting nails into wood or again hitting things like a axe, a hand, or people around you. So this is dangerous for mistake use a tools like a hammer or knives or anything else. The fourth is climbing up high object. Climbing is many things like climbing frame, climbing buildings, climbing mountain, or climbing tebing. This my circle of to climb mountain. They like a thrill of danger in the possibility of falling. They also like to feel the world in a different way when they get to the top of something. Like a climb mountain or hills, they love the feeling of exploring. And this can be mixed in with the risk desire for height. Yeah, I also like climbing a mountain, but I didn't like a cold a weather or atmosphere in there. And finally, it is a most risky in ever you've seen. This is experiencing speed. I like reading a book. Commonly is night riding. This is the element that probably carries on throughout many people's lives, the need for speed, and I love a ride or riding a bike. There is a danger of falling off or crashing. I was crashed two more, and bikes are excellent for developing strength in the legs and also coordination for going around obstacles. So if you riding a bike, you also looking 200 meter on going in front of you, so be careful. Okay, this is I think that's enough for my answer and my explain about risking it. I'm sorry and correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, sir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.